Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another one of the videos that we're doing on Travel Mole during this pandemic crisis. And hopefully, as I say each time, that we're gradually coming out of this and the world is waking up and starting to travel again. And one of the places I'm sure there'll be on a lot of people's bucket list will be Mozambique. And I'm delighted to say that Mozambique have a brand new luxury property of the Banyan Tree, Mozambique. And on the other end of this Zoom line, I have Eduardo Johnston, who is the top man. He is actually on property at the moment. So, Eduardo, good morning or good afternoon, as it is for you.
Good afternoon, Graham. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Eduardo, it sounds, I've never been to Mozambique, but in my mind, it's like, a paradise. What was the logic? What was the plan to build a hotel in paradise?
Well, I think it all started with Jack Truter, who is the owner of the project, many years back, approximately 20 years ago, when he arrived with his backpack to this part of the world, and he managed to convince one of the local fishermen to bring him onto the island, which he just managed to see on the horizon off the mainland. And so he did. And when he arrived, he sat underneath the tree, which is actually still on site. And he thought to himself, my goodness, I really would like to build a resort, a luxury resort someday on this island. And so it happened. Now, why? Could be the question. And I would say it's very simple. Mozambique has an enormous coastline, probably second to none in terms of natural beauty worldwide. And the socio-economic impact of a resort like this in a country such as Mozambique is absolutely phenomenal. If you take normal statistics, that for every one person that you employ, you directly affect 5 people. That is probably even more so in Africa, or the number of people you affect in Africa is even larger than that. So by having a resort on these 2 islands, plus all the surrounding hubs that we require for logistical purposes, that means that we will be employing in excess of 300 people. Now, if you take the ratio of 1 to 5, that means that you are positively affecting 1,500 people within the local community, which I think is speaks for itself.
Good. So the rationale is, it's going to be a force for good. As I'm sure you're aware, however, there is a climate crisis that we're facing across the globe. Mozambique, and being where it is geographically, would be on the front line of rising ocean levels and extreme weather events, I'm sure. So being nature positive in terms of your development, in terms of what you would like your guests to do, what practical steps are you taking in order to support that?
Quite a lot, actually. We will be the very first Banyan Tree resort to be 100% solar powered. So that's a big thing. We are not using any sort of coal burning or any sort of thing that might be non-environmentally friendly to produce our electricity. We are desalinating all of our seawater to drinking level, and we have a bottling plant, so we are bottling our still and our sparkling water from our desalination plant, and bearing in mind that the desalination plant uses solar power for its desalination process. So in addition to that, we are also disposing of all of our waste in a controlled manner. And I'll give you a few examples. For example, the organic waste that we have. that we will have, because we are still not open yet, but we will eventually have considerable organic waste, which most hotels do. So we've invested in digesters, and these digesters produce odor-free fertilizer, and the fertilizer is being given back to the local communities so they can farm their lands with this fertilizer from organic waste. That's one part. Even though we are in Mozambique and we do not have the facilities to dispose of certain items such as aluminium or glass or plastic in the correct manner, our trucks are coming down from Nampula, which is about 240 kilometers away on a daily basis. So they bring the food to us and all the products that we need to operate. And when they go back, they take all our waste with them, the waste that needs to be disposed of by certified companies in Nampula. So these are the ways that we are taking care of the environment and guaranteeing that our carbon print is as minimal as we possibly have. One thing I forgot to mention is our sewage. The sewage that is produced on resort. We have a sewage treatment plant on both islands, and all of the sewage is treated into irrigation water, which we then use to irrigate the plants and the various types of agriculture, the small agriculture we do on island.
Now, you mentioned earlier, so we've analysed your carbon footprint, which you would appear to have a big green tick in the box. You mentioned earlier about the economic multiplier effect that, employ 300 and it affects 1,500. What other things are you doing with regard to making the property local? Are you using local product where you can? You're obviously employing local people, local culture, it would be one question. And are you, in terms of local tours and trips and things like that, are you deploying, local people to do that under their own ownership, so to speak?
Absolutely. In fact, Mozambique has something which I firmly agree to. They have a quota that specifies that hotels cannot have more than 5% of their total staff complement as expats. So if we employ 300 people, that means that we can only have 15 expats in total. And my idea is to hopefully have less than that, because what I want to do, I really want to employ Mozambique talent as much as I can, because the essence of this product, I feel, Graham, is we are offering the true African experience. And it has to be a Mozambique national to offer that African experience. It cannot be an expat. So in effect, we will have mostly, the expats will mostly be people that are brought on for training and top management. Basically, that's it. All the middle management and some of the top management as well, as obviously, as well as the line staff, will all be Mozambican nationals. Just as an example, we have just brought on our Director of Human Resources, Mozambican national, and the lady will be on the executive committee. So this is the way forward, and this is what we intend to do in terms of populating the resort with local talent. Now, in terms of you mentioned what are we going to do about local produce? Banyan Tree has just come out with a new concept for food and beverage, which I find extremely exciting. And this concept is termed regionally sourced, locally curated. What does this mean? This means that 70% of the menu has to have local recipes, local products. It also needs to all of the dishes that are served, the Mozambique touch has to be the star of the show. So whether that be a spice, whether that be, I'll just give you a few examples, whether the grouper will have the grouper being the local fish caught by the local fishermen, which is another thing we are doing. We'll have like a passion fruit sauce, the passion fruit being the Mozambican touch to the actual dish. So the whole objective is to create very much a sensory feeling for the guest, or a sensory experience for the guest, that the guest really immerses himself into what it's like to be a Mozambican, to live in Mozambique, to experience what a Mozambican person experiences during his lifetime while that person is on holiday.
And is that live like a Mozambican? Is that the main attraction of coming to your property, or do you have, you know, what would a typical day be like for me if I came to your resort?
Well, we have a number of activities on site. Obviously, the main focus is well-being. It's very much in the Banyan Tree ethos. Apart from the sanctuary spa that we have, we also have various holistic exercises and experiences for guests to enjoy, whether it be Pilates or yoga, whatever. We have a number of water sports activities. We also have cooking classes, we have stargazing, we have outdoor movies. So there are a number of activities that we offer the guests while they're on site. Now, these activities are not compulsory, obviously. What we try and do is offer a range of activities that there will always be something for someone to do if they so wish. But the whole objective of coming to this private island, because it is a private island, it's one of the only 2 private islands in Mozambique, is to relax, is to immerse yourself into the African way of life, and to just have the most exceptional, relaxing holiday that you've ever had. What have we incorporated into the product, which very, very rarely you find in Africa, and in Mozambique we are the first. You'll have a what we call in Banyan Tree a full-service villa host. Villa host being a butler. So every guest will have their butler. Now, the butler is obviously not someone that is permanently next to the guest, asking the guest what he wants. It's obviously they are trained, they are very, very good at what they do at Banyan Tree. And they are there when the guest needs them to be there. They are not there when the guests do not need them to be there, but they're always a call away. We've introduced technology, so there's permanent communication between the guest and their butler whenever they wish. And the butler's there for anything the guest may need or may want at any particular time. The level of service will be the following. I'll give you an example. I mentioned the spa. Let's say, Graham, you have a 10 o'clock appointment at our sanctuary spa. What the butler will do, the villa host in this case, he will go to the spa 20 minutes before, just check if everything is set up, check who will be your therapist and who is on duty that day. And then make sure everything is ready, go to your villa, pick you up at 5 minutes to 10, take you to the spa and introduce you to the whole team, thereby breaking the ice and creating a very nice family atmosphere between you and the spa team that are going to take care of your treatment. So this is what the butler does. And so this is one of the main features, or one of the features that I would say will bring people to Ilha Caldeira and Ilha Nojovo. The 2 concepts are somewhat different. The concept of Ilha Caldeira has all the activities and is very much focused for romance and families as well, because we have a kids club, we have a games room. So we can take care of the kids and guarantee that the kids are enjoying their holiday just as much or more than their parents are, but giving enough me time to the parents for them to enjoy their holiday as well. The second island, Ilha Nojovo, has a different concept. Banyan Tree has just come out with a concept called VEYA, V-E-Y-A. It's a well-being concept based on 8 pillars, whereby the guests will fill out a questionnaire before they arrive. It'll be analyzed internally, and the whole experience will be tailor-made towards the answers that the guest gave on the questionnaire. And in so doing, we cannot guarantee, but we do believe that the guest will leave the island a totally different person, rejuvenated person, to when they arrived. So these are the two different concepts. Whilst on Ilha Caldeira, we have a family setup, and we have villas for that as well. We have 2-bedroom and 4-bedroom villas for the larger families. On Ilha Nojovo, it's an adults only island because it's very, very, very focused on well-being.
What do you expect the average stay to be at your property?
I expect the average stay to be 4 to 5 nights. That's the average stay. I believe that, and I feel that myself, when I go away on a holiday, and it takes me 2 days to get more or less my mindset on a holiday. Because I probably still feel a bit stressed out, things I didn't do, I should have done. So I'm still not on holiday mode. So it takes me a bit of time. So for people to really enjoy this destination, to really immerse themselves into what I've been explaining, I really believe they need at least 4 to 5 days on island. But I do believe we also, sorry.
Did you think the Banyan Tree in Mozambique would be part of a, you know, for international travelers? I can understand perhaps people from, given where you are, from maybe South Africa, popping over for 5 days, coming back rejuvenated, etc. But from an international perspective, that's a long way to go for 5 days. So are you hoping, or are you planning, or are you marketing your properties to be part of a bigger African experience?
Absolutely, that's exactly what I was going to say. Sorry, Graham, I didn't finish. It's basically we've established an enormous array of contacts with other ultra luxury properties in Africa, offering safaris, city breaks, all sorts of experiences, so that people can have a multi experience holiday. They can do an overland safari in one of the luxury lodges in Botswana, South Africa, wherever, and then come and stay on island and have a totally different experience. We've actually come out with a product which is an underwater safari. So we are mapping the reefs as we speak, and we're mapping all of the fauna as well. So divers, snorkelers, or just guests who are not particularly into diving and snorkeling can come over and can have an underwater safari. Where you'll have a chart and you'll be able to identify all the underwater fauna, all the different species. So you can have an overland safari in Botswana or wherever, and then come to us and have an underwater safari. So we are very much enabling people to not just to come and enjoy the islands, but to have other African experiences while they make their trip from abroad.
But I think an underwater safari experience on the Okavango Delta might be a step too far, actually. But yes. There you go. So earlier you said that you're not open yet. What are the plans? When will you be letting off a few fireworks and cutting the ribbon?
Yes, we are. The property is basically all built. The Ilha Caldeira, the first property to open. We are now in the finishing phases and installing all of the IT, all of the things that need to go in, where you don't really see a big progress. You don't see any big progress, but obviously they are fundamental for the whole property to work. We do expect to open the second half of 2022. Our original idea is to open in July of 2022. So that is the original idea. We might experience some slippage at this stage. We do not know, but if we do, it'll be a few months. But definitely the second half of 2022 is the opening of the first island, Ilha Caldeira. The second island, Ilha Nojovo, will open 6 months after the first island, and we're doing this. We are staggering the opening purposefully.
Well, I wish you the very, very best of luck, Eduardo. It sounds magnificent. It sounds it's being done with the right mindset, with being good people, and so I wish you the very, very best of luck.
No, thank you very much, Graham. And once again, thank you for giving us the opportunity to showcase the product, because I do believe it's going to be, and I know people are going to think I'm biased saying this, but I do believe this is going to be the next big thing in Africa, not just Mozambique, but in the whole of Africa. The product is absolutely superb. I fell in love with this place when I arrived, and I was on the island for 5 minutes and I could fully understand what was being built and why it was being built and what the product is going to be and what the guest experience will also be. So thank you very much, Graham. Really appreciate your time. And I look forward to seeing you on an inspection trip soon.
Lovely job. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye now.